Okay, I'm gonna try to juggernaut through this and get the video done. Yeah, dude, you go ahead. I'm gonna sit this one out. Question though, are you gonna wear the toque the whole time? Yeah, just keep the toque on. Sinuses packed, nose rubbed raw, back strained, but it all feels a little better now that the Leafs have beaten the New York Rangers 2-1 in the shootout, can you believe? And the reason that's surprising is Henrik Lundqvist is one of the best shootout goalies, if not the best shootout goalie in the league. And Vesa, normally not so much. And how important is Nicholas Hagman to the Leafs? Last game against the Rangers, he scored the overtime winner. In this game, even though he didn't score in the shootout, he scored the Leafs' only goal to get it to the shootout. The Leafs were a resilient bunch tonight, seeing injuries to John Mitchell and Jeff Finger at different points in the game, and still coming through with the win. And I know I'm not the only one noticing this trend. The Penguins lose to the Leafs, Michel Therrien fired. The Rangers lose to the Leafs, Tom Renney fired. And John Tortorella, I know it's your first game as coach, but you gotta go. Look, I know, I'm sorry, but those are the rules. If you lose to the Leafs, you have to get fired. Last game, you might remember me asking who was the biggest surprise on the Leafs team this year, and a lot of you answered Ian White. Well, this game, out of nowhere, Ian White and Marcus Naslund, of all people, dropped the gloves. This season, we've talked a lot about Ian White. We know he's not the most skilled guy out there. We know he's not the strongest guy out there, but he does what he's asked to do, whether that be on forward or defense. And something we haven't talked about, he knows how to get under the skin of the opposing team's stars. Exhibit A, Marcus Naslund. Exhibit B, from a couple months ago, Ilya Kovalchuk. You can't see my eyebrows, they're completely covered. What expression am I making? You don't know. But in the end, it was Vesa holding it down for yet another solid game, and the Leafs get their second straight win over the Rangers. In other news, the Leafs tried to call up Mark Bell through re-entry waivers, but he got plucked up by the New York Rangers. Unfortunately, he didn't play tonight. That would have been cool. And now with Mark Bell gone, it's just another sign of the winds of change blowing in Leaf land with the trade deadline less than a week away now. So recently, we've seen Stefan Kronwall and now Mark Bell get picked up off waivers. A few Leafs that used to be locks are now Marlies. A few Marlies that used to be locks down there are now Leafs. And also the Marlies have signed a bunch of guys from the ECHL over the last couple months, maybe 2 or 3, I can't remember. It's just all signs that the Leafs seem to be getting ready to dump a lot of players. Something else I noticed, if John Mitchell and Jeff Finger miss a few games because of their injuries leading up to the trade deadline, it could be a valuable opportunity for the Leafs to call up some Marlies and let them show their NHL worth. Which leads me to my question of the game. How many players do you think the Leafs will move at the trade deadline? Here's your second option for question of the game. Going into the trade deadline, what do the Leafs really need? I mean, it's no secret that they're going to try to get younger through prospects and picks, but what do the Leafs really need going forward? Not in the sense of specific players, but power forward or starting goaltender. What do you think is really missing from this lineup? And my final question of the game before the NyQuil kicks in and the entire video goes downhill. What Marley should be a Leaf, at least by the end of the year, and maybe even heading into next year? You got a lot of options. Ryan Hullwig's down there, Yuri Talusti's down there, and their leading scorer, Tim Stapleton, he hasn't got a call-up. Should he be one of them? And pretty please post a video response and also upload it to Leafspace because I'd love to hear from someone who also likes the AHL. That's it for this game. The Leafs win 2-1 in the shootout. I'm going to sleep. Even if that doesn't cure my cold, it's still sleep, and sleep is always awesome.